cash on my cash stack. High yields on stable coins, yeah, that's where my bag at. All I really need is Wi-Fi, get money on DeFi, mega cash on MetaMask. You better run when the runners run, show you how to get your money up. Dollar inflated like bubble gum, markets are jumping like double dutch. Buying up gold till I get a ton, crypto, yeah, I got some. You better run when the runners run, you better run when the runners run.
Good evening. Welcome in, runners. It's Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. Crypto is on sale. Gold and silver are soaring. And as always, we got to bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Ricardo Hamilton, a.k.a. Mims, making it make sense. What's going on, brother?
Man, I'm going good, brother. How are you? Man, fired up as always for this nice show and all the info we got packed for the people.
I'm absolutely amazing because we have a second chance. Okay. I was worried crypto is just going to keep going up, and we have been given the gift of a lifetime and that we can now start accumulating some of our favorite assets at 50 to just 80% off. So I'm just thankful that the market just didn't run away and we got to pull back, which I know a lot of people don't think that way, but that's how I think. Is I'm like, thank God I can now start just taking my time, get into some positions that I want to hold long term.
Yeah. This is the good time, folks, because during sort of the bear run or the bull run, when everything is green and, crypto's taking off, there are certain coins that you hear about that you saw that did, X percent or multiple or whatever have you. Keep those coins in mind. So when it does have significant retracements like what we're seeing now, you could pick those same coins up at a discount. You see massive discount. Some projects, like Mike said, are just, massively down, and that's good. I get excited because you got to understand we're investing in technology. This is not just like the casino or something, or just, meme coin per se. This is technology we're investing in, and this is where the future is moving. So yeah, you definitely want to make sure you're accumulating some of your favorite projects when the market is red and there's blood in the streets.
Yeah, and I want to show you guys this. I'm not telling you guys to go out and buy this, but just to give you guys an example, right? This is scale, okay? And I think this is a good long-term project. The market cap's only 11.57 million, but I mean, I think we got this. Let's see. Look at this. I mean, even for the last year, it's been around 40 cents. I think we got in like here and it went up to here because I remember I sold a little bit here and took profit, but it's down to 12 cents right now, bro.
Yeah.
2 cents, 72 cents to 12 cents in less than a month, and nothing's changed.
Right. Nothing's changed. Yeah.
There's only 100 million of them. They're still doing the same thing, but it's on a huge sale, guys. This is the Black Friday event we have been waiting for. Now, I'm not saying go and dump all your money into this or dump all your money into everything. But what I'm saying is, if you have been buying anything in the last 2 to 3 months, you better be buying now. You better be dollar cost averaging and continue to purchase cryptocurrency because it's on sale. This is your chance. This is probably your last chance. Could it go down a little bit more? Maybe. I don't know. But it is on significant sales from what it was. Now, this is because Bitcoin is gaining dominance. More value is going into Bitcoin. The altcoins are going down. Okay. So Gala's down 32%. Actually, a lot of these I don't really like. Theta, I like. Theta's down 29%. Immutable X down. Immutable X, that's a solid buy all day long. Top gaming coin, 29%. Say down 28%. Aptos is pretty good, down 27%. Avalanche down 26%. That's a buy in my opinion. Algorand down 25%. Injective down 25% this week. Cosmos down 25%. Like Hedera down 23%. Chainlink, Polkadot. Okay, guys. Chainlink and Polkadot. Okay. If you don't know what to do in crypto, just buy Chainlink and Polkadot. you'll be fine. Okay. But we have a massive, massive fire sale here. Mims, anything you want to add of just how people need to get excited right now? This is basically the last call before we shoot into orbit. So the next month or two, you got to pay attention, and we're going to be putting stuff in the Freerunner School. Okay. So look down below, guys. In the Freerunner School, we're going to be putting some content in there and showing you guys how to win in this bull market.
Yeah. Look, folks, a little bit go a long way. You know, sure, you might have put some in, and it was a week ago or a month ago when the coins were at a higher, you know, amount. And now for you to buy now, you might feel some type of way, but this is when you buy, even if it's not the same amount. Buying something goes a long way, especially, you know, a lot of these coins where there's a 2-3x from where we are now to back to where it was before, you know, this massive dip came in. So just some things to consider, you know what I mean? When you have an opportunity to take something and turn it into something else just because of timing and where the market is, and knowing the value, and nothing fundamentally has changed in any of all these projects at one time besides market psychology. And that changes, you know, and so we'll see the buying and the gains come again. The question is, did you buy the dip?
Yes. So guys, if you put, you know, $500, $1,000 into a coin, and now it says 250 or 500, it's okay. Don't worry about it. We don't measure our wealth in dollars. Why would we do that? Okay. The dollar is continuing to decline. So you have to shift your mindset and stop measuring your wealth in dollars. One Bitcoin is still one Bitcoin, no matter what the dollar amount is. Same for Ethereum, same for Solana and AVAX and Polkadot and Chainlink. The fact that you can get Chainlink right now for like, what was it, $12 or $13? That's insane. I literally cannot believe that we can now buy Chainlink. What was it at? It was at $12. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And again, guys, so if you guys want to understand and learn more about cryptocurrency, get in the Freerunner School. I am doing some other things right now, but as soon as I get a chance, I'm going to be putting mad content in there, and we're going to run up a bag. And I'm so glad the market dropped. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, Chainlink at 13.45 right now. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Polygon at 70 cents. Polkadot back at 6. Oh, this is amazing. Yeah, guys. So we're gonna crush it. But something that is not going down, Mims, is physical gold and silver. Another all-time high, guys, from last week. This is like the third show in a row, bro.
Yeah.
Gold's hit an all-time high.
We're trying to tell you. We try to tell you.
So
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Gold at 16 trillion, 2,384. We did break 2,400 this week. Silver at $28. We have broken 30 on the global exchanges, not the US exchanges, because those are rigged and manipulated. Yeah. But again, why silver will skyrocket, guys? It's not because of you and me or people, retail people just buying gold and silver, right? Like people who are just like, oh, I'm going to get some silver and hold it in my hand. We're nothing. We're literally peons, okay? So today we're going to talk about the industrial demand of silver, because when you look at Microsoft and you look at Apple and you look at NVIDIA and you look at Google and you look at oil, they all need silver. And literally, I guess Facebook does too, and so does Bitcoin. So literally, silver is the support that is upholding the top 10 assets in the entire world. Mims, anything you want to take on where we're at with metals, the top 10? Give us your take.
Yeah, I'm just saying we're documenting the wealth transfer in real time. And, you know, as time goes on, you know, these videos are going to be classics, man, because the market cap and the prices for these assets, You know, they're not going to be here, you know, at this rate a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. And that's how you have to think. You know, you have to think long term, and you already see the trend. I mean, gold, I mean, is adding trillions of dollars to its market cap in the last few months. Trillions of dollars have been added to the market cap of gold in the last few months. I mean, gold is going much higher, folks. And the thing that you have to really understand is that these markets have been manipulated for so long, suppressed for so long, while there's been trillions of dollars being printed. Okay. You know, it's almost an inevitability at this point. You know, there is no going back. There is no saving the dollar. You know, you have to save your money in silver and gold and invest in blockchain tech, without a doubt.
Yeah, you have to. I just did a post about this. Is like, if you're not buying gold, silver, and crypto right now, I don't even know how you like sleep at night. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know. I talked to somebody on a Zoom this week, Mims, and they said it was, you know, he was you know, right-leaning, red pill kind of person. He was into crypto. He said he'd been buying Bitcoin for a while. I said, I just don't get gold and silver. And it blew my mind. I'm like, how could you not understand gold and silver? So we're going to try to just present those points again. And I think I got to do like a whole presentation on why people need gold and silver, because it just blew my mind that this guy who was very smart, didn't trust the government, but still didn't see the value of gold and silver, guys. It really is the only way to decentralize and take back our power is physical gold and silver. Now we're going to use cryptocurrencies. They're really good, but they're very volatile. They're subject to whatever the market's doing. So that's what we want to help you guys today. Shout out to Nico. Yes, we do know about Pith. I did a video on them about 3 months ago. Get Pith and stake it. Mad airdrops. Okay. Pith is the second best Oracle right now. Oracle gives price feeds from the real world to decentralized finance and the blockchain. So Chainlink is like the OG granddaddy. Pith is the up and comer young dude. Okay. So Pith probably has more growth, and you're getting a lot of airdrops with Pith. So these are the things that we teach you guys inside the Freerunner School. Link down below. Join, because we're going to be dropping some mad knowledge in there. But Mims, let's get to our first video you sent me this week. And this is reason number one that you need silver is at any time, okay, your bank account could be frozen, could be taken, could be stopped. So let's see what happened this week to someone in Canada.
It's my money. I'm allowed to withdraw from my own bank account. Yeah, so you said that what's the maximum limit you can give a withdrawal to a customer? It's $3,000 on the date. You've already mentioned that multiple times.
Yeah, not today.
Why not today?
Wow, folks.
Yeah, not today, Mims. Can you believe this?
This is why you don't leave your money in the bank. It's a major liability. You need your money, and they ain't got it, and they ain't trying to give it up. Yeah.
She says, not today. I'd be like,
what you mean not today? My hand's gonna be on your neck.
That's a video going viral on TikTok. That's a bank in Canada, the bank in Canada refusing to give a customer money. I mean, it was his money. And, you know, we've talked a lot on this show and for a while now with respect to inflation in the market, but you know, what doesn't get enough attention is the social impact. You know, there's a direct correlation, for instance, with higher inflation and homicide rates. And of course, we continue to talk about this big spike in the so-called Big Mac indicator. By the way, that's also minimum wage. You know, there was a time when we used to worry about this stuff. This is the cover of Time magazine, March 13th, 1972. It says, is the U.S. going broke? Now, the article begins with the statement, can a nation with $1 trillion economy be running out of money? By most measures of private wealth, the U.S. is the richest country, but in terms of its ability to pay for the public services, health care, education, welfare, garbage pickup, pollution control, police, fire protection that make the life of its citizens pleasant or at least tolerable, or in some cases even possible, the country seems almost to be going broke.
and when I watched this, Mims, I was like, I can't believe this is what they were saying in 1972.
Yeah.
Fast forward to today, what do we see? We see an open border, illegal immigrants just being thrown all over cities. We see just decrepit, just garbage stricken, poverty everywhere, the homeless problem, people squatting in people's houses and taking it from them after owning it for decades, trillions of dollars in debt all the time. Like, we have just gone so off the rails. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is that they're not educating people on how the money system works, because we don't actually have money. What we have is debt, and we're circulating debt. And that the cost to service that debt, the interest on that debt, is at a point where the system is breaking down. This system has to have more debt injected into it for it to exist. If they ever stop printing money or creating debt, the system will lock up. The system, credit crisis, liquidity crunch, it would just stop. It would just end. So they have to continue to add debt, but the world is waking up to the game, to the charade that the dollar is money, and that's why they're getting back to gold and silver. And this is why it's important that people understand that they have to continue to create more debt. They're not having money. It's not we have money, we have debt. So that's the problem, and that's why it's so important that you get money and not hold on to debt, fiat currency,
Yes.
dollars, liability because of inflation and everything else.
Yeah, the U.S. government is the worst crackhead you have ever met in your life. That's essentially what they are. They don't need crack. They don't need alcohol. They need debt. Every day, they need more of it. That's the only way they can survive, is more and more debt. And when you hold on to dollars, you're feeding that crackhead, right? And you're playing in that crackhead's game of, I'm going to hold on to these dollars and lose with you. So that's why you want to do the opposite of what most people are doing, and the opposite of what the government's doing.
Yeah, that's why we see these bubbles, in the economy. But go ahead, Mike.
100%.
Yeah.
I want to bring in now Walzer Wealth Management President Rebecca Walzer. Rebecca, you can say that now multiplied by many times, but we just don't seem to care. At least back then, someone was paying attention and someone did care.
That Canadian clip is so scary because that really could happen in America. The Federal Reserve has already talked about potentially a bail-in. They will not bail the banks out again, Charles. If anything happens, money could be frozen and clients will be locked out.
Do you believe that, though?
No, I don't believe that would happen.
No, do you believe they won't bail the banks out? Two things. You've got the Federal Reserve, which really is a bank for the wealthy.
Right.
I mean, it's a bank for the banks and a bank for the wealthy. That's who they work for. They don't work for the U.S. for citizens. It's time people understood that.
I'm so glad you said this, because so many people think that because we're the world reserve currency that we have to bail out the dollar, that we won't let our system collapse. What they don't understand is what the BRICS nations are doing to basically do cross-border payment transactions in local currencies without a reserve alternative to the dollar. So, yes, I believe with the amount of deficits that we're running.
Mims, I think you need to Mims that now. That might have went over some people's head. So can you go into BRICS really quick with the cross-border payments?
Yeah, there's no need for dollars anymore. Nobody wants them. Nobody wants to hold them. So imagine all this inflation that they've exported overseas, because really that inflation would be way worse. But they have mechanisms where they actually export the inflation to other countries, and other countries are forced to buy the debt and everything else. But what we're seeing is de-dollarization. We're seeing countries around the world dumping the U.S. debt, dumping the dollar. And what that means is that those dollars are going to be converted to assets. And what that means is that all those dollars that are out there are going to chase a finite supply of goods and services, which makes the cost for those now goods, services, and assets rise in value. So this is why we're going to see almost a inflationary cycle. And inflation is not in check, and it will continue to get worse, because we're going to see all these dollars that are out there start to buy up assets and buy up goods and services. And in that process, reducing the supply and availability of them, and now pushing up the price of those assets. So that's why it's so important that people understand that BRICS and these other countries around the world are dumping dollars for assets. We are seeing gold rise for that reason. We are seeing the crypto market rise for that reason. We are seeing countries around the world realizing that the resources and the assets are what's money and not the dollar, which is debt.
Yes. And for those of you that are new, okay, BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Those countries now have so much power
And
when they
others.
come together.
Yeah.
They can basically get out of the rigged system the US government was using the dollar to control asset prices for so long.
Yeah.
So, and we're
Yeah,
going to go into more videos on what that means and what you need to do.
That we just seem to carte blanche. We're not in a war right now directly. We're not in a pandemic, and yet we're still getting a $7.3 trillion budget proposal from this administration. I think the rest of the world is saying America has taken modern monetary theory way too far.
And of course, you've been talking about gold for a long time. It's paying off. No, listen, this is why you've been positioning your
We got to get this girl on the pod, Mims. I don't know who she is, but she's been talking about gold for a long time.
Right.
We'll go ahead and reach out to her, Mims.
Absolutely.
Central banks have also been positioning there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And the big spike came with the invasion, right? Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So this is not just inflation. This is sort of an indictment on the geopolitics. I think the ability of America to come to the rescue of the rest of the world.
Yeah, I mean, if you kick someone out of the SWIFT system and say you're going to confiscate their $300 billion in U.S. Forex holdings, that's a problem. Obviously, that was.
So again, here we see gold over 2,400, and like she said, if the United States trying to use the dollar as a weapon, weaponizing the dollar is not even being political, is the biggest mistake the Joe Biden White House has made. Okay. When you tell Russia and other countries that we're going to take these funds from this, they're going to take their ball and go home. Mims, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, it just comes down to, as long as you're in favor with the U.S., then you're fine. But then they see what happens to the countries who are no longer in favor and how the system is being weaponized against them. And then now it begs you to question, well, what happens if I run out of favor with the U.S. and my country and my people? Are you going to now remove us from the SWIFT payment system? Are you going to now not allow us access to the capital markets? Because we don't accept your LGBTQ agenda, or because we don't want to sell our resources cheap to you, or because we don't want to import your GMO products. What is it? At what point, if we don't agree with you on your policy votes at the UN, at what point do we no longer become friends and now we're enemies and have to worry about using the global financial system against us? So now there's emerging a more equitable, more fair, more trustworthy, more secure system that's dealing with blockchain. And of course, real money is what is underpinning the whole financial system, physical silver and gold.
Yes. The BRICS will be backed by gold. We know that at some point. We're just not quite sure how right now.
Wasn't it done? But Charles, that scares a lot of countries, and they basically are buying other things besides the dollar.
So then where do we go from here?
I mean, I am bracing for really global upheaval, macroeconomic disruption, global upheaval. And if we have a World War III or an escalation, that certainly will bring it all the more faster.
I mean, the spike in Google searches for World War III is through the roof.
Exactly.
And this periodically happens. Sometimes people get excited and say, oh, it's no big deal. But at some point, it is a big deal, particularly if it's on the minds of people, because people react to the way they're feeling.
Well, it's also that we've had ongoing conflict that involves a global superpower, Russia, since 2022, and people are uneasy about that. That has not completed yet. Now we've got the Middle East popping off, too. You've got China, Taiwan, tensions going, and with what Xi Jinping is always saying, Taiwan is a part of China. There's a lot of geopolitical problems right now, on top of the economic problems, on top of no one seeming to care in the United States how much money we have to constantly keep printing. Charles, we could go no bid on a treasury auction. That will really tell us something.
Wow. A lot of folks are saying it will have to be the bond market that gets our minds right. So I got 30 seconds. If they're not in gold, they should still be buying?
Well, this is definitely not the top end. I don't expect it to keep going to the moon. I think we'll have some retrenchment, but it will continue to go up as these global
That's what you'll be able to sleep at night with, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
right, Mims, your take. What should people get from this video, and how important it is for them to start getting physical gold and silver right now?
Yeah, well, you saw one thing they do know is that people, you know, what did he say? The information they have based on how they makes them how they feel, or something of that to that effect.
To be able to sleep at night.
Yeah. Something about, anyways, they know you better than you know yourself, and they cater and put out certain information knowing that you will respond in a certain way, right? And so now you're seeing, you know, the news outlets like Fox News and them, now they're talking about this stuff, and they're literally trying to warn you. And when they talk about World War III, you have to understand that, you know, when nations collapse, the last thing they do is take you to war. Okay, it's happened throughout history. You know, this is nothing new, actually. It's not like the world hasn't seen or experienced this in some fashion. If you actually study the Roman Empire collapse, you will start to see a lot of the comparisons that we are living in right now that is so very, very similar to what happened in Rome. And so, you know, it's very possible, very, very possible we end up, you know, in a war scenario. And like they were saying at the end, is that the first indicator when they hit the hills is looking at the bond market. Okay.
Yep.
The bond market is the biggest debt market of them all. And what happens when nobody wants the bonds? Zero buys, right? That's the moment. Okay.
Yep.
Now, what happens is the Federal Reserve is the buyer and seller of last resort, but they have been buying treasuries and assets for so long now, and so much of it, that it's really exposing, you know, the Wizard of the Oz system, and people are running away from it, going to gold and silver.
Yes. So let's get into our second clip tonight. This will be our last one. Nico, you got to run with the runners, bro. Yes, you can stake Pith. Okay. You don't need crypto.com. You can trade for Pith on Solana and stake it decentralized, bro. That's what we teach people how to do. So make sure you join the free school and learn how to move in the DeFi space. All right. Nico just signed up. Sweet. Okay. So this is one of the best interviews, podcast I've watched on silver. Okay. Big Swear, Road to Ruta, one of my favorite guys of all time. He is interviewing Andy Sheckman, who is probably one of the top 3 most revered or honored people in the entire silver industry. Okay. He has his own silver business. So physical silver this time really is different. The world demands silver. So I have it here where they start to talk about the industrial demand. You guys have to understand, it's not the fact that anyone buying retail gold and silver right now, you're going to win. Okay. But us buying it is not what's going to tip the scale to go up. It's the industrial demand. So I've picked the most important time in this video that you guys need to watch and pay attention, because your life and your family's legacy depends on it. And then we'll get Mim's take.
So the point I'm getting at is that, like that, things can change in this industry. And I think that when people wake up in this country, I think they're going to realize that they want gold and silver. And because this move that we've seen, this really strong move is so ignored by the mainstream, it's unbelievable. And it's so underallocated to the mainstream, it's unbelievable. So what is flush right now in terms of low premiums and good availability, let's just not focus specifically on the Silver Eagles, across the board. That will change in a millisecond, because it is estimated that if you take Joe Sixpack all the way up to the Harvard Endowment Fund, the allocation in gold and silver is less than 0.5%. So if that...
Did you guys hear that? The average person has less than 0.5% of their wealth or allocation in physical gold and silver. That's the average.
Yeah.
I know we're not average, Mims.
Yeah.
I know most of the runners aren't average, but very, very few people are getting physical gold and silver.
Yeah. What he's saying is that as people wake up, the risk on environment will be risk off. And the best way to have your money grow for you and secure it without exposing it to risk is in precious metals, physical gold, and silver, because gold and silver are tier 1 assets. But, you know, as people start to want to diversify, like he's saying, you know, massive money is coming into these assets, but there's only so much of it. And the premiums will only stay so low for so long. So you definitely want to, you know, make sure that you get it sooner than later. And that's why I always say I'd rather be 1 year or even 2 years too early than 1 day too late.
That's it.
That just increases to 5%. Well, it's a tenfold increase in demand. In 10 seconds, it's all gone. So could we do a $50 million order? Yes. In Silver Eagles? No, not unless you want to allow me to rely upon the U.S. Mint to fulfill their monthly and weekly allocations. And I'll say, yeah, I'll get that delivered to you in the next month or two. But short of that, no, that would be a heavy pull right now.
Okay. So in contrast to what has been going on in retail silver meaning the stuff Andy sells, the stuff in coin and bar form that is consumable by your average Joe 6-pack or big family investors, things like that. The other side of this is the industrial. Yep. Industrial silver has been absolutely off the charts this entire time while nobody's buying retail. And that's where the big volumes come in industrial silver. Now, we just had, I have for the past 8 months have been on another quest. This quest has been to expose the fact that we are using massive amounts of silver in solar panels and electric cars. This is part of the war that's going on against the market riggers, I call them the banking cabal that have controlled the price of silver, the price of gold, the price of stocks and bonds and all that. Yep. Western-based, including the regulators and the U.S. government and obviously the big banks and the Federal Reserve. I have been on a quest to show the world that there is massive amounts of silver being, I think, misallocated into solar panels and electric cars, but not because I dislike solar and electric. I love them both. The reality is that it is such a precious resource and scarce resource. It shouldn't be going there. It shouldn't be going. Well, I'm looking at, I learned the solar silver world very quickly. Well, 6 months is quick in my world. Very quickly came to the conclusion that we're being lied to, literally lied to by the Silver Institute and Metals Focus about how much silver is really being consumed. And the beauty of the crossover between solar and the metals market is that in solar, it's pretty much regulated. And you know how much solar has been installed every year. Right. And that's where the shall we say, the rubber hit the road last year. We doubled solar installations globally, which is a massive amount of silver, put us well over 300 million ounces of physical silver. Plus, we stocked up every warehouse, and it's still going on. People are starting to get the idea that last year was huge, and now China is going to double again. I hate to tell the Metals Focus and the Silver Institute, who really want to play this down, but they come out with the silver. Before I get to the World Silver Survey, you have been yelling for a very long time about the Belt and Road Initiative. And when Janet Yellen went to China to tell them to stop making solar panels and stop making electric cars this last weekend, China pretty much patted her on the head and said, thanks for coming, get the hell out.
So think about this, guys, right? What do we hear all the time about China? Oh, they pollute, right? They're not green. They have all the CO2 and stuff. So China, let's see if this will pull up or if I have to, yeah, I have to stop sharing and show you guys this. So China is now dominating becoming green. This is from the New York Times, March 7th, 2024. How China came to dominate the world in solar energy. Beijing is set to further increase its manufacturing installation of solar panels as it seeks to master global markets and wean itself from endpoints. China unleashed the full might of its solar energy industry last year, It installed more solar panels than the United States has in its history.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm bringing you the fire tonight, Mims. I've been doing my research. This is the tipping point, guys. Okay. So China is their plan now, and they are so smart. Listen, you might not like China. I don't care how you feel about China. They're smart. They know what they're doing. They know how to control us and extract wealth. So they're saying, okay, the US and all the big banks are rigging the price of silver down. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to buy massive amounts of silver and start producing energy so that we don't have to worry about oil and all the other stuff with energy. Absolute genius. They're buying silver for $28 an ounce. Are you kidding me? Okay. So basically, China has created more solar panels in the last year than the United States has in its history. And so what he's talking about is Janet Yellen went over to China to try to tell them to stop. Think about that. Everything we hear is about how China has pollution. She goes over to China and says, stop producing and making all these solar panels because we don't want you to have the silver. And the Chinese media is making fun of her, which I don't know how you can make fun of her because she doesn't know anything.
Right.
So Mims, I mean, I know this. I don't know if you've heard this or I think I
saw
mentioned it to you, but your thoughts on this is just hilarious.
Yeah, I saw she was over there, and that's a clue, folks. It really is a clue. And also, if you're in the United States and you want solar panels on your house, definitely reach out to me. Got one of the best dealers in the United States supplying people with solar panels on their roof. But, this is why we need silver. And this is, if you get excited about Bitcoin happening and things of this nature, you're getting excited because you understand the law of supply and demand. We'll get even more excited about silver, okay? Because there is less available above ground silver than the demand is going to be able to fulfill. And not to mention the massive rigging that has been taking place. Silver is massively undervalued. But yes, it is when you start to see industry start to get into these markets that you see the massive moves take place. This is why people got excited about the ETFs and Bitcoin, because industry, big money is coming in to buy these assets, and that's going to push up the price of these assets. So, silver is not going to be sitting at 28 for too long. The premium is not going to be this low for too long. Certain products will be out. You see, you won't be able to get certain products. It's coming to that point, and so it's important that you get what you can and lock it down as soon as possible. And physical, get it. Physical, or have it in a trusted vault, that is not, tied to a company where you have to worry about, not getting it in the worst case scenario. Yeah.
And then as solar panels advance, they need more silver. So PERC used to be the typical solar panel. It needed about 10 milligrams of silver per watt. TopCon is the main kind now that needs 13 milligrams. The heterojunction is the new one that just kind of came out that needs 22 milligrams. So as we're advancing in solar panels, it's set to squeeze the silver supply because we need more of it. And again, guys, we're talking about one industry here. We're not even talking about electric vehicles or lithium-ion batteries or the other 10,000 uses for silver. Or how over 50% of the silver that's ever been mined is in a junk pile somewhere because you need such small amounts of it. It's at these prices, it's not worth recycling. But there will be a day, Mims, where silver will be so valuable, people will literally be combing through junkyards and garbage dumps trying to find little specks of silver like they used to do with gold back in 1849.
Yeah, no, it's true. There's so many dynamics of silver. It's crazy. I mean, historical ratios, the supply, the utility, over 1,000 uses for silver, its role as money, its demand. And we just obviously just talked about countries, but you have countries that need it. You have industries that need it. You have people that need it, but there's only so much of it. There's only so much of it. And it's been rigged and manipulated for so long. And there's so much paper dollars out there that are about to chase these assets. It's going to be epic. And you're hearing it now. And hopefully you are taking advantage and making sure that you're getting these assets at the best price as soon as possible.
And we don't have time to watch this video tonight, guys. And I posted about this on my Facebook. But again, this was from today. Silver alert, India silver imports another 33 million ounces in March alone. Okay. India and China know what they're doing. Their people have been through struggle. They understand how to save real money, and they don't trust their governments. Well, that's what blows my mind, right, Mims? Is like people in America, most of the people we know, don't trust the government, but they still use banks and they still save in dollars. And they look at us like we're crazy when we're like, get physical gold and silver in your hand as much as you can. This is constitutional money. This is God's money. There's like, I don't know. I just work my job and dollars go to my bank and it's all gone. Like, no, guys, you got to break out of that system. India and China right now are going to just grab and soak up the entire physical gold and silver because our government and the big banks are rigging the price down because they're trying to get as much of it. And basically China and India just said, okay, we'll play that game. And now they're buying as much of it as they can. So again, we're not going to tip the scale. We're not going to be able to buy as much gold and silver and get it in our hands to totally change the game. But we can get enough of it to change our lives and our family lives and their legacies. And that's what we want to see for you guys. This is it, guys. This is the end game. It's 2024. Mims, last words tonight, brother.
Yeah, I told y'all we had a phenomenal show for y'all. I mean, I think every show is epic. I'm telling you, because there's not too many shows where people, like us are breaking this down, articulating it so well, putting the resources right there for you, and then showing you where the best place to get the assets or how to actually move around in the blockchain. And so we just getting started, folks. We document the collapse of this debt-based fiat monetary system. We're also participating and documenting the wealth transfer because of it. And, this is why you're running with the runners. And so make sure you reach out to us or whoever shared these videos with you so you can be in position to get, these assets and take advantage of these opportunities in crypto. Because time is running out. I mean, if you just keep going on and not saving and not investing, you're going to wish you had, and your loved ones are going to wish you had. And that's why I always say, if you didn't come from a wealthy family, this is the opportunity to make sure that a wealthy family comes from you.
Amen, brother. So again, guys, I'm going to start putting mad content into our new school program. Okay. This is tailor-made for us. We're going to be able to teach you guys how to move on the blockchain, how to, do different stuff. Guys, I'm making, what is it? 4,000% APY right now in a DeFi yield position. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. I'm just kind of giving you guys some time. I'm doing some other things on the side. But once we get 100 people in here, I'm going to start putting out content in here and helping you guys every day. It's very interactive. It's a gamified system. SKOOL.com with a K is really awesome. And we're going to be able to teach you and help you guys through this bull run. So make sure you guys look down below on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or Rumble or wherever you're watching and join the free school community because we want to help as many people as possible. Buy silver, buy gold, reach out to us to let us know where we are getting it at the best price because it's brand new. You probably haven't heard of it. If you haven't talked to us in the last few months, we want to make sure you guys get the best price because the days of overpaying for gold and silver are done.
Lace up. Let's get wealthy.
Peace.